When we talk to people who are opioid dependent, we see a very high percentage of them who have panic attacks. 85, maybe even 90% have panic attacks, really don't understand why they have them, and are deeply into avoiding whatever situation might come up that might create a panic attack. We have people, for example, that just don't go out of their house because they're more comfortable and feel safer there and afraid they're going to have panic attacks if they go out. But the first intervention to getting past panic attacks is understanding the panic attack. And if you understand fear, then there'll be less fear and a better result. I'll start out with an example of a panic attack. A tiger walks into the room, licks its chops, looks at you, and starts moving toward you. Eyes narrowed, ears go down. What do you feel? You feel scared. You have a panic attack right then. But suppose I'm in the room with you while this is happening and say, well, how do you feel? And the person can't even talk. Thinks he's going to get eaten. And say, oh, it's this tiger. You're afraid of this tiger. And you shake your head very hesitantly, yes. You don't want to attract too much attention from the tiger. And I say, oh, that's Tony. You don't have to worry about Tony. And right away you think I'm crazy and you're in a really bad situation. And I continue, oh, you think Tony's a real tiger. Well, Tony is a mechanical tiger. And let me unscrew Tony's head and show you how it works. And I go over to the tiger and I unscrew his head, and underneath Tony's head is a man in the tiger suit. And I explain to him that this guy operates Tony's ears, eyes, expressions, moves around, and he looks like a tiger. He can even roar. And you take a sigh of relief, realizing that you're going to survive this next session. You're shaken up. That doesn't go away right away, but you no longer think that you're in any danger and you're no longer having the panic attack. Well, panic attacks have that Tony the Tiger quality to them in terms of something is happening internally that you do not understand, you think is dangerous, even deadly, and you panic. Most people think they're having a heart attack and panic because they're not near an emergency room and start heading toward one. So let me give you the idea that we have about panic attacks, and it has to do with what we call subliminal flashbacks. Everybody knows what a flashback is, but a subliminal flashback is like having a nightmare in the middle of the day. You have this emotional experience without realizing it's coming from some imagery that's in the back of your mind that you're not aware of. It's a flashback that you're not actually seeing. It doesn't come through as a visual, but you had some trauma and now you're feeling all the terror from the trauma with no awareness that this is just a flashback. So you feel a lot of feelings that you can't understand by way of this special kind of flashback. Feel frightened, think about having a heart attack, and panic. Now, I can tell you all this, but the next time you have a panic attack, believe me, you're going to be thinking of headed toward the emergency room. The last thing you're going to think about is what you're hearing right now. So it takes a long time before the idea of the subliminal flashback is usable. The first thing that comes to mind is, I'm dying. So that has to change, and it can only change over time by exposing yourself to the kind of information that's going to have you see things in terms of what's actually happening. So learning about the panic attack, learning about the subliminal flashback, understanding that it comes from a significant early life trauma, and that's where the flashback comes, is the first step in actually handling panic attacks. But there's more to follow.